Action.
Hi, if you've landed on this site, it may be that you're considering counseling either for yourself or a family member. And you may be looking at some of the resources on this site and taking some new information away that hopefully will actually help your life. And as you look at these things, you're thinking, I wonder if I could do well to have either a counselor or a coach to work with. And so you may be actually looking at this information and considering that maybe I could contact Sandy and perhaps consider talking with her about some of the issues in my family or in my own personal life. You know, it's interesting. I've counseled with people for a number of years, over 20 years actually, and when people come in, I've heard this so many times, people will look at me and say, I bet you've never heard a story quite as terrible as my story. Or I bet you've never heard anything as bad as this. Or I bet you've never heard anything quite this awful. And the truth is that it's not so. Every human being has struggles. Every human being is going to go through troubled times. It's intrinsic to what we live in this world. That there are times that we're going to experience losses, where things just are not going to go right, where sometimes we need somebody to speak into our lives or to help give us a little different perspective on things. There can be a number of things that can happen. And, you know, the truth too is that we are all going to experience losses from some type or another. Losses are a part of living. And people have looked at me kind of strangely. I said, you know, the people who are most successful in their living are the people who actually navigate through their losses in a way that allows them to move into the next part of their life. We have losses of many types. It could be the loss of a marriage partner. It could be the loss of a job, a loss of a friendship. Moving across the country entails loss. You could be going into something good, actually. A good opportunity can open to you, and that actually also creates losses because it's the road less traveled, the things that you don't get a chance to pursue, the things, the people, the places. There are aspects of life where you take choice, you make a choice, and you have to leave the rest behind. And sometimes people have a lot of self-doubt or conflict internally about, did I make the right choice? Did I do the right thing? And if they don't navigate through those losses correctly, then they end up being stuck in a variety of ways. Now, there are many things that can also add to our troubles. There can be physical illnesses, there can be mental illnesses that can actually create more issues in our lives that can keep us in that stuck place. So with all of these things happening in our world, sometimes it isn't enough to speak to family or to close confidants, people in our lives, and expect them to give us some kind of a expertise or even an unprofessional, even an unbiased type of input into our circumstances. So the key thing for a lot of people is that they find at some point in their lives it does well for them to actually sit down and talk with a professional counselor, someone who's actually tried to help call things out of people's circumstances. And in many ways, what people don't recognize is that there aren't so many answers locked up inside of me. The answers are often locked up inside of you. And that a good counselor will actually help in terms of pulling this out of you, will help you unlock some of the things that are inside of you. And there are a variety of things that we do to help people actually unlock some of those doors for themselves. So if you're thinking, my life isn't quite what I'd like it to be, or I have had some losses of one thing or another that I'm still working with, I'm trying to understand how to deal with my child who's been running away from home, or a family member I'm having trouble with, or accepting a health issue, or working through a healing of some kind, even job-related conflicts and things of this nature, marital conflicts. People grieve when they have to put a family member into a nursing home, and there are inner conflicts related to this. There's so many reasons people come in to talk to counselors. It can be career related. It can be any number of things in terms of how the family works. We need improvement in something. There are many things that people would talk to a counselor about. If any of these things are touching you in any way and you're thinking, there are things in my life that I think could be better, if that's true for you, then you may actually want to consider actually talking with a professional counselor. And I would be most pleased to actually sit down with and talk with you and determine if perhaps we can get some assistance for you in your circumstances. So take a look around this website, read some more, learn a little bit more about who I am, and also some of the other resources that you could take away to help yourself in your circumstances. And if you think maybe counseling would be a good fit for you or your family member, then please give me a call. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to meet you. And I hope that, you know, whatever your circumstances are, that you will actually find some good resolution for whatever your troubles are, and that you will be able to walk into a better life. So do give me a call if you wish, and I wish you all the best.